the week. Let me give you a lowdown of what we're working with. Like, these cabinets go so deep. And then let's move on to taking everything. We tackle it all. Who's gonna live with just that? With the inventory that I have, I want to get my shit together. So this is the stuff that I actually need to declutter. For the middle shelf, I actually have one of these, like, quite happy how everything is organized. That my entire pantry can just fit in this one cabinet. Like, that's it. That's what I've been complaining about. Hey, beautiful soul, I am so back and we gotta catch up. So you're currently watching present day 2026 Vidya, but I took a mini break due to some very personal-ish. But I filmed quite a bit during that time off, so we have some major catching up sessions. Way back to this particular first week in December, I had reached peak frustration looking at my kitchen cabinets filled to the brim with pantry items. Pantry items and spices that I had completely forgotten because they were hiding away in the depths of my kitchen cabinets. So I stopped everything, spent 7 full days focusing on solely organizing this part of my life. Taking everything out of the cabinets, reorganizing them in a more realistic way so that it helps me long term and so that like future Vidya can be so proud of past Vidya. And along the way, I realized something important. Pantry organization isn't about buying a bunch of bins from the Container Store or Dollarama. We didn't spend a single dime on this pantry, and everything you see was organized with what I already had on hand. So let's start from the beginning. Sunday here, and it is so, I was gonna say so sunny. It is snowing. There's so much snow outside. Man, winter is here. We're officially in winter. Look at my hair. I just freshened up, but I still look so tired. By the time I got back home, it was around like 2 a.m. So I just sort of like crashed out. But let's make some coffee and start the day. Welcome. Good morning. How's it going? Sorry, I have the kettle going on. I like this setup. I'm perched on top of my masala dabba, but I think you can see me very clearly. Oh, ugly lighting. Maybe we should get vibey lighting. I can't even see you. Turn the ugly light on, because otherwise I can't even see you. Otherwise, oh, battery dying. Be back. Okay, we are back. The ugly ceiling light is on so that I could see you guys. Let's make some coffee. I finally restocked on my favorite Nescafe, and you have to get the chicory blend, which is available at Real Canadian Superstore for all my Canadians. So it's far better than the Nescafe Bold that they do. The chicory gives it like a natural sweetness that, if you haven't seen my South Indian, how to perfect your South Indian filter coffee by making it just with instant coffee, I'll link that video down below. And you'll thank me later. hard, this part. Okay. 1 pour. And there you have your coffee. I did not burn my tongue this time. Welcome to another week of Desi Girl Vlogs. This is the week we tackle it all. And what do I mean by it all? This mess. I'll just zoom in very quickly to what this hot mess is. Not only in the table, but also there are 2 IKEA carts here filled to the brim. One is filled with just pantry items, and then also this cabinetry that we see here is filled with pantry items. And then I have one more cupboard that I've dedicated to like tea, coffee, and spices, just to give you, a backtrack of it. I've lived in this apartment for the last year, and only now I'm figuring out what I like in the space and what I don't like in the space. With a lot of organization videos I've been seeing, they just like immediately organize, but I think you know the space a little bit more once you live in it. And now I know my issues when it comes to my kitchen cabinets. Like, they're pretty deep, but deep can also mean that I forget things that are in the back. So I need to create some sort of a system where I'm able to remember what are the items that are in the deeper end of the cabinets. That's what she said. That are in the hidden realms of the caves of my cabinets. When I knew that shit hit the fan is when I bought a 4 kg bag of basmati rice and I brought it home. And then I looked at my IKEA cart and I already had a 4 kg bag of basmati rice from Costco. And I was like, oh my God. That's what I knew. It's gone too far. I have no idea what inventory I have both in my freezer, fridge, and in my pantry. Anyway, it's an abomination. I don't want to live with this anymore. It's kind of the main reason why you have not seen a Chikka Tikka Diaries recipe video, because I've just been trying to figure out this situation. And this week we are tackling this because I cannot live in this mess anymore. It has reached a capacity. I was waiting for the launch of the DGA spreadsheet. If you don't know, I have launched a Desi Girl Approved, a hotspots and BIPOC food brand spreadsheet that highlights over 400 hotspots globally, things to do in New York, in Toronto, as well as 100-ish so of BIPOC food brands that you can put your hard-earned money to, as opposed to, the bigger chains and brands. And anytime I update it, you get it updated as well. It's also a way for you to also add your favorite hotspot from your city and help me grow the list, because it's only me doing this. So that being said, I'll pop the link of that for you to grab for free. And this is a completely free resource for you to use, and it just takes all the work away from you having to figure out what restaurant to eat in Toronto or this location or that location. It takes all the messy work out and the fun work in. You know what I mean? The IKEA carts that I showed you was originally bought to store my electronics. This camera gear, all my filming gear, so that, it aerates and everything and it's not stuffed in a bag. The backstory of the spices particularly is that I've accumulated quite a bit of spices, okay? And it's something that I love collecting. Some people love collecting buttons and coins and things. I love collecting spices. But the other thing is that when you accumulate, you also need a system to organize everything, to make sure that you're not buying double. I originally bought a bunch of mason jars and I filled it, but my issue is storage of extra spices. I always grew up with a mom who had like a dabba of just like where she would throw the extra spices in. I did that for the longest time, but that extra dabba of spices is just I'm not able to remember what's in that bucket. How about that? So I'm scrapping that idea entirely. Played with multiple things throughout these months that I haven't been cooking, but I have been behind the scenes. I think I figured out a system that works for me. I'm repurposing these IKEA carts as my spice carts, essentially. You could just buy like regular spice carts, but I really want to do this organization with what I have, not buying extra things. In the videos that I've seen of organization and declutter videos, it's like, oh, buy a bunch of bins and put it in that, but it's also like, what is the practical element of it? So it's trying to create systems around, you know, what I'm working with so that it makes my life easier and not harder. Okay, we are back. It is currently 3 p.m. and it's already looking outside like it's like 7 p.m. I hate winter because of how quickly the sun goes down. So I have my ugly lighting up on that I never turn on, but I only turn on for you guys when I'm filming on this side of the room, or this side of the apartment. I just ordered a few groceries, haul time, some milk, carrots, and rainbow mini cookies. I've been addicted to these. You know, balance. I usually keep my fruits separated into these sort of tins. It has been game changer and a lifesaver, honestly. So what I'm actually gonna do is just transfer all of these into this, and then it'll fit in my small fridge. And this is also like a tip for you if you are also living in a confined, like a traditional condo sized fridge, and you don't actually have like a dedicated drawer for fruits and vegetables. Finding a little tray to put it all just makes it a little bit more like, just makes the fridge look a little bit more visually appealing, and it's not just like thrown randomly. Oh, carrots a lot up there. Let's get into everything. So let me give you a lowdown of what we're working with, and then let's move on to taking everything out. First of all, this is where I house all my pantry goods, and you can actually see that this cupboard right here cannot fully open because the exhaust is actually in the way. So I actually put a little bit of a sticky so that it doesn't ruin the cupboard upon, you know, whenever I choose to move out of this unit. But this is where I house all my pantry goods of my everyday usage. This is what we are currently working with. Do you see when I say deep? Like, these cabinets go so deep. Top row is where I keep all my overstock of spices and backups, essentially. Everyday items, and then tea, coffee station. I think this actually works well. Originally, I was thinking of swapping these two, but I'm going to maintain these for my everyday items because this shelf is used more often than actually this shelf. And out of these three, this shelf is used, this quarter of it is used most for tea, coffee, and things like that. And of course, I extended the pantry to include this shelf because who's gonna live with just that? So this is where I keep all my rices and my flour and my lentil and my dal. This is what we have. I had a system going where I had sort of an inventory here. It was just the back of this receipt that I wrote everything, but it doesn't help when you're trying to grocery shop. There is no digital copy of this, or I forget to take a photo of this every time. So the whole idea of this is to create systems so that I am not in this mess all over again. I like to keep this pantry as things that I use on a weekly basis, like when I'm meal prepping. And the bottom two is where I would keep the storage of this because I shop at Costco and then there's always threes of everything. But the overstock and all that is in the under cabinet as well. So the whole point of this is to create recipes with the inventory that I have, because what I have is actually quite a lot. I want to get my shit together, and the only way that I can do this is by doing this with a 12-hour clock. So what we're gonna do is clean, organize, and figure out systems that'll help me a little bit better so that I'm not in this hot mess. Doing stuff now so that future me can be happy with myself. But this is looking like a hot mess and we need to change that. Tackle this. I'm gonna take all of this stuff out and then we will get to that pantry. Okay, it has started. I emptied out the shelves where my Tupperware all used to be, and I'm slowly aligning them in here, and I've started my little pile of goods right here. I'm gonna keep layering them just in this square and also like segregating them. So for instance, these will be backstock, but I also need to remember the orange bottles are the Nescafe that I use every day, whereas these two maybe like once in a week. So I need to somehow segregate those, so it's like everyday pantry items versus like once in a week cooking pantry items. Get what I mean? Now you may think this is all the spices, but it is not. I don't know if you can tell. I have like 2 jars of this Bombay Biryani Masala. Honestly, this is the best brand if you want like a good biryani masala mix. I don't know what to do with these sort of buckets of, you know, the Costco, Kirkland, as well as PC, like Clubhouse. They also sell these sort of wholesale packaging. I'm gonna keep it. I'm not the type to, you know, transfer into another stupid bin when this also does its job. So I'm gonna still keep this and reserve it to the very end. And I have, you know, these kind of containers for my vanilla bean. So yeah, things are coming along. Definitely, my face is looking flush. So these items are gonna be all the pantry sort of deal. And then this table is going to house all the spices. And it's 5:16. I think I'm gonna make myself a little bit, sorry, the dishwasher. I think I'm gonna make myself a little bit of a coffee. I know. Don't come at me saying like, you said 1 cup a day. And on days like today, this is when I make the South Indian coffee. Microwave this for 1 minute and 30 seconds. I'm gonna use a little bit of the vanilla one today. 2 teaspoons. 1 teaspoon of the chicory. Mix it together. Pour in our hot water. And just like that, you have yourself a South Indian coffee. Cheers. I know I said that I will only stick to 1 cup of coffee per day, but today is one of those days where I just need to get shit done. And I'm already in the declutter mood, so when I'm in this mood, a cup of coffee is like perfect to set me for the entire night. Oh, and did I forget to tell you, we are gonna be doing this in 24 hours. So the time right now is 5:28, so I have 2 minutes left p.m. So we're gonna start at 5:30. Give me like 2 minutes leeway to just deep breathe a little bit. And tomorrow, 5:30 p.m., we're gonna have a little check-in to see how much we've gotten done. At least, I don't have to have the containers all set, but I need to know at least what I have in my pantry and my inventory. So I am quite, ooh, 5:29. My phone's like a minute ahead. Where is my timer? Do you see? 24 hours. It is exactly 5:30 on the dot as I'm looking at my microwave. So without further ado, let's start. Decluttering once we've sorted everything out. We don't want to do too much all at once, otherwise it just gets me a little flustered. Okay, box 1 done. Going to get box 2.
I completely forgot to introduce myself. If you're new here, hello, hi. My name is Vidya. I am the founder of Chikka Tikka Diaries, and this is a space that blends food, storytelling, and trying to build a community, both online and in real life, because that matters to me so much in the most authentic way that I can. It is only me, myself, and I that's running this ship. And I love posting my Desi Girl Approved 100% self-funded food review series, and it is a way for me to showcase and highlight your hotspots, things to do, and BIPOC food brands from your city. Any collabs that I've done in this series, completely for free, paid with my own hard-earned money. And it is my way of paying it forward to the immigrant communities that build our neighborhood, that make it vibrant and filled with rich history. And on top of that, these Desi Girl vlogs are just my way of showing you my real, raw, unfiltered behind the scenes, and some vulnerable chit chats like this one. I'm just a 32-year-old brown Desi girl living in Toronto and trying to do it all.
Another little tiny thing of biryani. Had I known that I had 2 boxes of biryani masala, I would have probably refilled it. The other thing, I have sambar powder from my mom. This is my mom's mulaga puri, also known as gunpowder puri for your dosas. So I have 2 of them. So Ma, if you're watching this, don't send me any more. You know, empty bottle coriander. See, it's done. There's nothing in this. I think now is the time to start a throw out pile. Chia seeds, I'm gonna put this in the breakfast section. And then I have some more spices. The best. If it's one thing you're gonna buy from Tim Hortons, I highly, highly recommend the apple cinnamon dunked in some just plain milk, like hot milk. It tastes delicious. Okay. And just like that, we have cleared 1 shelf. Do you see when I say deep? This goes all the way there. Like, how is it humanly possible for my tiny arms to reach all the way in that corner? It's okay, we work with what we have. Now on to shelf number 2. Sunflower seeds, because I apparently have like a store full of them. There's like 1 more back there, but... Oh no, there's 2 more. Success. Who says you need to go to the gym? Just clean your cabinets and get a good, you know, cardio workout. Okay, it has been quite some time. I'm back in my PJs, which means it's almost bedtime. It is currently 11:10, 11:11. Make a wish, say a prayer, make a wish. The point is, the stuff is all out. Let me show you what we've accomplished thus far and what we will do for tomorrow.
just to give you some reference. The cupboards are completely empty. These are just extra shelves and just, I needed other spaces to put stuff. You'll see why. This cupboard is also completely empty. You see my little receipts of inventory that I had, but the system failed me. So now I need to figure out a new system. Those cabinets are all cleared up. And then I showed you these. And then if we come over here, you will see all the spices cut into thirds. So this side, the closest to me, is all the cinnamon, baking goods, spices. These are all the everyday ones that I had. The 40 spices that I would use quite often. And then these are the backups to them. And now if I actually take you to the main part, are you ready to see the mess? This. I've actually separated into categories. So these are all condiments / sauces and canned goods. And then here we have all our noodles, Asian noodles, South Asian noodles, flour. We have our legumes and dals, dry goods. And then pasta. And then here we have all our snack goods as well as nuts. This is the stuff that I actually need to declutter. And then over here, who loves my little guacamole? This is all my breakfast items. Rava upma. If you're into Indian cooking, you would know what idli is. If you want a little how to make rava idli in your Instant Pot, let me know if you want that recipe video. But yeah, my overstock of my teas as well as my coffees. You know, I cannot live without my Nescafe, oatmeal, and my emergency seed. And then here are my everyday stuff. My everyday peanut butter, tahini, matcha, hot cocoa. Sugars are all here. And then teas, of course cereal. But it's crazy to think that this is essentially it. Like, this is my pantry. And this is not a big living room to begin with. So tomorrow, I get the lovely task to sort now everything out. What I haven't used in the last 2 to 5 years. That way it gives me some allegiance. And then sorting out what I usually use for Chikka Tikka Diaries cooking videos, and then what I use on an everyday day-to-day. All of this, it's crazy to me to think that my entire pantry can just fit in this one carpeted area. Like, that's it. That's what I've been complaining about. Up until tomorrow, 5 p.m. I don't think I'll have time to get onto the spices yet. I think I may have to do a separate video on that. We'll see, because I don't want this video to be too long. I just wanted to give you some actual helpful tips when it comes to pantry storage, especially when you're only working with like one cabinet is essentially what I'm working with. And then obviously I extended it with my 2 little cabinets that I have. Totally, I have 3 cabinets for pantry storage. So tomorrow I will see you guys bright and early to declutter all this mess. Okay, see you guys tomorrow, Bestie. When the hair is up, you know shit is about to go down. Good morning. It is the next day and the day that we declutter and sort out all of this mess. All the deli containers are washed now and dried, like completely dried. I think that's the key part. I just want to make sure there's no moisture, there's no wetness inside of it. And now I'm going to transfer all of the spices into the deli containers, except for the ones that are in these sort of containers. These, like, I have duplicates of stuff, like all-purpose flour. I ended up having like 4 bags of all-purpose flour. It's like right here. I don't need 4 bags of all-purpose flour. So those kind of things, I'm gonna find a community fridge near me. If you don't know what they do, they're like a local Toronto-based organization that started during the pandemic, and it's just to help with the accessibility to food. The way that they operate is you donate and you can also take. That's how their donation is, because this idea that food should be accessible to everyone. And so I'm gonna see which is the closest near me and I'm gonna drop it off there. You can do Salvation Army too, but you know, something about this just screams, you know, more local, and I'd much rather do this. Let the decluttering commence. This is what we have so far. All the spaghettis, pastas, and that's how we're gonna do the rest of them. Just by decluttering, this is all I have for all my dry lentils, rice, and flours, and all the dry goods. Pasta, Asian noodles, as well as South Asian noodles, rice, dal. I think I'm gonna put these two into a box, but I don't have another extra of those deli, the taller, like these kind of deli containers. I'll leave it in the box for now, but once they do come in from Amazon, I will put them in. These are all the canned pastas and things like that. These I'm not gonna throw out because I do use them as I'm cooking. And then if we move to here, these are all the snack items. I just need to figure out, like, a lot of these are stock items. Like, see, even in the almonds, one bag is open, one bag is not. So I need to just figure out if just keeping them in the bag is better, or should I also transfer this? I would much rather just leave it in the bag. But things like these graham crackers and that, because the top actually came off, I'm gonna maybe put them in Ziploc bags and just keep it like that. I've kept only any little thing. You have the Welsh and the applesauce. It's just, the only issue with Kirkland is that, you know, when you're living alone, you don't need an entire case of 24-pack of applesauce. I bought this because of the day when I was like completely sick, and this is what helped save me actually. So I'm keeping about 10 just to keep in stock. I had 2 of these crisps and I don't need 2, so I'm gonna donate 1, and then this is the one that's open, so I'm gonna complete that. And then all these are like the breakfast items, which will go in a separate bin, and then obviously more breakfast items. Oh, okay, we have made some progress. I have moved all the stuff, the doubles of everything and the things that I haven't used in the last 5 years into the cart that I showed you earlier. And now I'm just jigsaw puzzling everything into the cupboards and seeing any more extra deli containers that I need. So now is the time that I'm being very strategic and seeing what I need and what I don't need, or what I can duplicate. If I'm buying something like containers and things, I want to see how I can reuse those containers as much as possible. So taking a little bit of a break to eat some lunch. We have 1 bag of chips. Ooh, this is their new chimichurri sauce. And then a very hearty veggie bowl. So I always order their veggie bowl. I don't think I've ever ordered their meat. I don't know why. I just think that they pack it a lot when it comes to the vegetarian ones. But actually, I lied. The one time that I did is when they had the Chipotle and adobo. That one was actually quite delicious. This is what the salad is looking like. I want to know, are you the type where you eat, you know, as you go along the Chipotle bowl, or are you the type to just like mix everything? Let me know. I'm excited. I have tried their vinaigrette. Yeah. But I haven't tried their chimichurri yet, so okay.
This is their chimichurri. Oh, that's quite salty actually. I think I'm gonna ditch this actually, because I think both of them together is gonna be too much salt. I'm just gonna add the chimichurri. Obviously this isn't like authentic Mexican food. A little bit of everything. Okay, cheers. Yeah. The chips. It's just one of those days where I need to stand and eat. So if you're having one of those days too, join the crowd, bestie. Okay, cheers. Whoa. I would like to know in the comments, what's your Chipotle order? Like, what do you put on your Chipotle? And then maybe I can try yours. This hits the spot. Especially when I skip breakfast. I actually made hard-boiled eggs, but I completely forgot about it. This is brunch. Oh, this is brunch, I guess. Thought we'd do a little COVE soda action. Eee. Ladies with nails. How do you... Ow. Cheers. I actually prefer the cranberry ginger over the ginger ale. Okay. I'm gonna finish eating. Like 2 more bites. That's my brunch. Like, I don't eat a lot. I have a bunch of garbage that I need to throw out, so I think I'm gonna throw it there. The chimichurri is getting to me, so my nose is like, the sinuses are all coming out. I'm also gonna clear out the cart. Visually, the clutter, you know, goes away. And I also didn't know that there are bigger sizes to these deli containers, not just the 16 ounces, but also like the 64 ounce and the 80 ounce. And I think that may be the best solution for my, you know, like the Kirkland, Costco, almonds and nuts and things like that. I like it in the bag that it is when it's sealed, but then sometimes it just takes up a little bit of space. And what I love about these deli containers is the stackability of it. But what's holding me off is cabinet space. So I want to see if the width of those containers are quite big. And so I want to see if they can fit in there, or is it just going to be stuck. I want to see if it's better off in the white cabinets or if it's better off in these ones. What I'm thinking of doing is putting these cabinets as like everyday use items. And then I'm going to put the canned goods and other things at the top. So I'm thinking of making the snacks items and breakfast and things here. I've actually ordered, now that I'm fed a little bit and I'm not hangry, I've actually ordered myself a rice dispenser. There was a lot of mixed reviews. It's only because of the 2 4 kg bags, and it's the bane of my existence to like heave that entire bag, measure it. Anyways, we'll see when it comes, because there were some mixed reviews of the top lid of it being kind of warped because it's made out of plastic. I haven't seen anything that's made out of like, you know, stainless steel. I would prefer something made out of stainless steel. It's easily washable. So that's gonna come in tomorrow. I've also ordered the 16 ounce deli containers. Ow, ow, ow. Ow, ow, ow. Honest to God. Good thing you guys were my witness. So this is the progress we've made thus far. I'm thinking of putting all the canned goods at the top there. That way, when you can see it from there, I can see what all shit I have. And then this is where that rice dispenser is gonna go, as well as my onions are gonna just stay here. That way it's at eye level. Hopefully I don't fall off. looks like a jumbled up mess. Like there's no actual dividers for anything, but I do somewhat know that on the right side is all like the pastas and sauces. Middle is all lentils. I think I'm gonna move the jam jar and put it here. This, you know, all the sauces make sense over there. I don't know if I want pull-out trays. The only issue with pull-out trays is that it takes up a lot of space, so I'm running out of width space. So I know it looks kind of like a mishmash of everything all over, but all my Classico jars, pasta jars right there. Sorry. Right there. In the middle section is all my canned goods, and then at the left side is all my panko and coconut milk. I think this way I can visually see what's actually inside. For the middle shelf, I actually have one of these like turntables that I haven't used, but I've kept actually. So note to self, if you know, have one of these, don't throw them out because you don't know when you'll actually use them. Doesn't look so visually cluttered. All my sauces fit in there. Okay. One shelf done. Yay! But I like this. I like how it is. Everything is just, like, you can see everything. I think that was one of my biggest issues. This row is where all the rice, grains, pastas, and all the noodles, the poha. And then here I have all my dry flour, corn flour, rice flour. And then here is just extra sugar, dals that I use occasionally, not every single day. All the leftover ingredients that I would like to use up, I haven't used in the last 2 years, and I want to use now. I actually brought it up front. Quite happy with how everything is organized. And hopefully now I can do a little before and after of just this white cabinet. Initially it was just fill to the brim, but now it's a little bit more organized. Even without the inventory, I can simply open the cupboard and I know exactly what's in there. Also because I went through the cupboard now, so now I have sort of a refresher. We tend to put the heavier items at the bottom, but sometimes it's just easier to put those things at the top. I think those are like the picky little things that I feel I will either need to get used to, or I can change as I go cook and live in this newly organized space. This is the amount of dent we have made. I mentioned this yesterday. It's just crazy to think that my entire pantry can literally just fit in the vicinity of my floor carpet. I should say something about me. Thought it was a lot, but it's not actually a lot. So
mental distance. If the space is not clean, at cognitive reproductive enough, because exercise to her room is messy. So that's what I'm going to
almost done. There's no water in this. The time is 5:06. I would like to say we kinda made it. If I didn't set myself the time this morning, this shelf would never have been done. So I'm pretty proud of this. I'm gonna fill up my water and get cracking on the other shelf. I just measured the bigger deli containers and I think it'll fit. We shall see. I ended up putting the tea, hot cocoa, matcha, all our sugars, and then the coffee, and then cereals up there, chia seeds, and then all of our pastes like tahini. I want to repurpose a container for these two. I think that'll be a smart idea. I usually use this as a vase. Like that's where I keep my bamboo. So I think it may actually fit both of them. Like I'm not on the whole decantering thing. Like if I'm decantering into a bin, the whole idea is I want to make sure that this can be reused and repurposed with multiple things. Okay, so I found its brother. This was actually from the dollar store. They had lids on the top, but then I removed the lids and now I use them as vases. Oh yeah. So now I need to put the rest of the teas. I think that's what this will be for.
Thank God my kitchen is like fully organized, because I know once I go back to Toronto, because I'm currently at home in Windsor, Ontario, I know that I'm going back to like a fully organized pantry. Like already current present day Vidya is like so thankful of the hard work that past Vidya put into organizing and decluttering it all. I was originally thinking of combining the entire 7 days clips into the vlog that you just saw, but then that would have been over 60 minutes long. Oh my God, we would have been here forever. So what I'm doing is part 2 will be the remaining of the pantry organization vlog. With that said, if you prefer a big gigantic 60-minute vlog, please help your girl out and let me know in the comments down below. You'll actually find that I'm a creator who will actually take the time to respond back to your comments. So with these credentials and the fact that I would love for us to hit 10K beautiful souls, hopefully before 2027, please subscribe because we have a lot more vlogs to catch up on, not to mention part 2 to this pantry organization, an entire spice cart that I organized for you, as well as a whole Windsor vlog that honestly fills my soul. Bye. Oh yeah. Remember to keep smiling, beautiful soul. Bye.